All right, good morning, everybody. Sorry for the little bit of a delay. My canine companion needed to step outside. So good morning, I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this is our home yoga practice live on Thursday. Thank you for your understanding yesterday. You know what's really interesting is it kind of dovetails in with the theme of continuing today and keeping going. I'm not going to use the word consistency because, each day is different in our lives. But I ended up really being quite a bit under the weather and not really feeling good because I let myself indulge in something that's out of the habit in my diet. And it did not agree with my whole system when I was waking up yesterday. So it just really kind of goes to show that sometimes continuing is a good idea to keep going. At least I feel like I've kept with that lesson. So I did like a late night burger run that I shouldn't have at a really crappy fast food place. And it was not worth the fat, the salt, the late night eating. So acid reflux and all kinds of really not good things. And I don't usually eat that way. So that's what I get for the craving and getting out of my routine. So something was like, I don't want to do this anymore right now. I want this, right? So how do we bring that then into our practice? Because I know that plenty of us have probably rolled out our mat or not rolled out our mat and gone, I don't want to do it. Or, it's not doing me any good. I don't see any benefit. Or it's boring. Or I don't know what to do. All of those barriers, all of the obstacles that we put in our way to stop ourselves from just doing the thing. So today we're going to work on a couple of sequences and work on a mental space to kind of notice, when am I holding myself back? What is it that I'm telling myself about what's going on? And is that true? And the why and the intention of why we're here, okay? Because I know that I can be in the middle of like a really quick burning flow and I'm like, what am I doing and why am I here? And once I change that mindset and I keep my mindset on my intention, not trying to prove anything for anyone else, trying to show off for anyone, not trying to do something the way I used to be able to. Those are some of the little narratives that I have to combat that's going on in my head. Then I can actually show up in a genuine way in my body and the energy that I have to give that day and the muscles and what they want to do and my breath and my mind truly coming in to the body. All right, so that's my hope today, are that aspects of our practice can help you maybe unlock a few new levels in your practice at home to go, I'm running into that thing right now that makes me say I don't want to keep going. What's really going on? Alrighty, let's come to our hands and knees and find child's pose. Welcome, come on in. I see you, Claudia, good to see you. Alrighty, so we'll come to our hands and knees. I will try my best to always offer modifications and variations for different levels and abilities. But please, if something doesn't feel right or isn't working, or if anything is painful, certainly stop, adjust, take something out of the practice. This should not be a no pain, no gain experience. All right, I'm going to sink back toward child's pose. I've got my knees a little wide. That makes a little room for the belly. If your head doesn't reach the floor, you could put a block down to rest your forehead, or rest your head on your arms. You can use your child's pose or just sitting upright as a check-in space. I'm always going to encourage us to start your practice, checking in, starting to really bring this into being your practice. You are practicing you. That's what your practice means. That means we have to be willing to step into ourselves. Step into the body, step into the breath, step into the mind. What parts of the body are talking to you? What parts of your body need attention? The parts of the body haven't been moved in their full range of movement in a while. Listen to your breath. Feel your breath. Listen to your mind. Now already you could be running into a, oh my God, I don't want to do this. Why aren't we jumping up and down and doing some other stuff? So how do you just continue with learning how to check in and notice any parts in you that are resisting doing that? Certainly if the calves are feeling kind of deadened, you can come up, stretch, reapproach, and kind of know that, oh, that level of compression my legs are not accustomed to. All right, I'm going to walk the arms forward and explore length. Take that in right now. What does explore length mean? Where am I aware of length and feeling length in the sides and my waist? In the belly, up and down the spine, armpits, arms, neck. How about we check in with the mind? Where is your mind right now? Did the space in the body help you lengthen into your mind? And notice any clutter, repetitive thoughts that it's just been bouncing around in. Any traffic jams, where have our thoughts been stuck? Are we even familiar with looking at the landscape of our mind this way? Let's breathe in as we come forward to hands and knees. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up, down dog. Feeling the hips lift and rise, heels pressed down, head letting go. What's still pressing down and lengthening along the backs of the legs? Where in the backs of the legs are you aware of this? Just the lower parts of the legs, the upper parts of the legs? From what point to what point can you feel the lengthening? How about the upper body, from the top of the head through the neck, in between the shoulders, all the way to the tailbone, that whole length, that whole swath? Can you feel? Are the muscles in the legs supporting the bones, or were they doing nothing? And if they are squeezing, how are they supporting? Are they strangling? Are you doing a full, absolute squeeze and overly fatiguing yourself? What is going on? Breath in, tilt the tailbone up. Exhale, rolling the spine forward to plank. Perhaps you need to bring your knees down, chest over thumbs. Feel what's going on. Feeling the arms support you, feeling the bones, feeling the muscles around the bones. The bones cannot compress on bones. We need the muscles to give the bones the support to stay stacked on top of one another. Can the legs be supporting us? Do we know what's going on? Breath in. Okay, now look at the part in you that maybe wants to quit. Maybe bring the knees down. Can you change rather than quit? What are you learning? What are you getting mad about? What are you getting sad about? Slowly, from the butt and then the hips, feel it slowly start to lift. Feel the arms pushing the hips up. Feel the heels pressing the legs down. Feel the hips pulling the body away from the limbs. Breath in. Breath out, shifting it forward to plank, rolling it forward gradually. When do the legs start to participate? When does the upper arm and the upper body start to participate? Is your breath participating? Hips lift, head down. Down dog, slow your roll. High Puma. Good. One more time or not. Okay, so now is a point where oftentimes we could say, well, 2 is all I really can do. Is that true, or is it a 2 that you want to do? Now remember why you are here. Breath. Are the heels of the palms getting fatigued? Could you use your fingers? Look at your whole hand. Ask yourself, am I using the whole hand? Do I know how to? Breath in. Breath out. You come out when you need. Slowly, hips lifting, head Lowering down, heels. What are the legs doing? What are the arms doing? What are the shoulders doing? Support, expansion in the body, not compression. Breath in. Breath out. We'll bring those knees down, finding child's pose. Flip the palms up. And review in your mind's eye. As we started, building a little heat, building some familiarity with what was giving us support, what was fueling our fire, the fire of hold and stay. Touch in now. Why are you here? What are you wanting to connect with? Yoga, yoking. Come here with an honesty with yourself, to meet yourself where you are. This is you in a genuine way. We'll flip those palms. Come forward to hands and knees. Feel the body weight shifting, hips lifting, head lowering, down dog. Breath in. Breath out as we travel our way up to the top of the mat. Some of you may have needed to bring a knee down first and then step a foot up. Breath in, lengthen the spine forward for half flat back. Those knees could be soft. Forward fold, allowing the upper body to go. Check in. Are there areas of the upper body that have not let go? Maybe there are things you've never ever let go of in your life. Roll your spine up, calming up to standing. Can we continue and be willing to explore the things that we don't know? Are we willing to admit that there are things about our body and our existence that we don't know? Breathe in and lift up, surrendering to what we don't know. Could you lift a little taller? Exhale, hinging forward. Half flat back, lead with the belly. Palms coming down, stepping to your version of plank. Perhaps those knees are down and lower down, elbows shaving the ribs. Breath in, cobra. Hips staying down, shoulders back. How much does the upper body want to bend up and back? Exhale to downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe your knees need to come down. What do you need to modify if something in you is saying to stop? All right, where's the pressure in your palms? What is equal in equilibrium? What is your mind doing in the pose right now? What is your body doing in the pose right now? And are you aware? Breath in. Exhale, traveling our way up to the top of the mat. Half flat back with the next inhale. Forward folding into the next exhale. Breath in as we rise, reaching up to what we don't know about lifting. And forward fold, coming into what we don't know about folding in. Half flat back. What do we know about how much breath we could take in a single inhale? Hands down, stepping to plank. Use that exhale to lower yourselves down. Breath in, seamlessly lifting up. Maybe you've slowed down. Maybe it's not fluid. Can you keep going? Lifting the hips, dropping the head down, learning something. What did you learn about your pace, about your rhythm? Traveling your feet up to the top of the mat. Notice, what are you learning about how you bring the feet up when you come in contact with the earth? Half flat back, about how you position your legs. Feel the spine lengthening. Forward fold. There's so much for us to explore. It's really hard to get bored. Bend the knees, pull the butt back. Feel the legs supporting us. Lifting the chest. Where's your intention? Where's the weight in your feet? Where's the weight in your knees, your groin? Is your breath going down to your feet? If your mind is going, well, the breath doesn't technically go to the feet. All right, let's stay there. How can you expand the mind into believing and understanding that there's something we don't know? Could I feel my breath in my feet? How do I will it there? What would I have to loosen or connect with in the backs of my calves, in my knee joints, in my groin, my pelvic floor? What would I have to let go of to touch this thing that someone says I could feel my breath in my feet? Sinking into it, sinking into it. Are you in your left leg more than your right? Where are you in the surface of the soles of your feet? Is it even, or are you all the way back in the heel somewhere? Are you all the way in one toe or just a couple of toes in one foot? How hard is it to stay applying our mindset into that balance, that equilibrium, slowly starting to stand, bringing the hands behind us. Feel the flesh in the shoulders and the chest opening. Feel the legs supporting you. What are your shins doing? Your knees? Can you feel the thigh flesh lifting up and away from the knees? Can you feel the belly flesh stretching forward? Breath in. Push the feet solid into the floor. Exhale. Lead with the chin and chest coming forward. Ooh, what's possible? What do we know? What are we learning here? What feels free? What feels difficult? Can the mind stay calm even in the spaces that feel difficult? Releasing those arms, half flat back. What lifted first, second, third? Palms coming down, stepping to plank, choosing when and how you lower. Breath in, cobra, or upward facing dog. I've got the tops of the feet down. So the front of my body was looking for more length and spaciousness. So I can do that more when I've got the tops of the feet down. My knees are off the floor. The whole entire surface of the legs are off the floor, arching and lifting up. Loosening the vertebrae in my low back. Letting my belly breathe, still not dumping into the wrists, although they were right then, and then I'm asking them not to. Lifting from the hips, dropping the head down, flipping the toes over, down dog, breath. Where are you? Did you check out for a moment because you were tired? How hard is it to keep the mind in the body and the breath all working together? And acknowledge that. Go, oop, I left it. Oop, I dropped it again. Oop. Right leg lifts nice and neutral, straight up. So what does neutral mean? Can we keep the hip closed, not twisting it open? I like to keep the toes aiming to the floor, driving that heel out, pressing it out of me and up. Softening the head and then seeing, am I really still applying energy up through that right leg? I have to be honest, I wasn't. Continuing, saying, okay, honest, what are you doing? Where are you at any point in time? I'm going to bring the right knee through. Now you might need to help that up there to bring that foot up. So you could grab your own foot and hop it up. Back foot flat, aiming the left toes to the front left corner of the mat. Taking our time, trying to remain stable to come up for warrior one. All right, so right hip back, left hip forward. Lifting from the belly button, sinking in the hips. Trying not to roll into the arch of that left foot. Don't collapse. Arches that are collapsing cannot provide support. We have two arches, one in each foot. What's rising and what's sinking in your body? Hands coming down, stepping to plank. Lift the hips up and back slowly, down dog. All right, so right now, check in. What's going on? What are you wanting to quit? Did you already go faster? Are you like, oh my God, this is so slow, right? So we get to observe what are the things that prevent us from sticking with what is right now. We were choosing another pacing or another alternate reality rather than accepting the truth of the now. Now, I'm not talking about in a trauma sense of having someone else's will imposed upon us. I'm talking about when we're coming on our mat and accepting a practice and saying, what is it that we're practicing? And today you're practicing with me, and it's cool, right? I just get to be something that you get to gauge against and go, oh yeah, I was doing a thing. I'm cool. If you want to say, I want to do 20 of these, cool, do 20 of them, just keep doing it. And then see what manifests. Left leg lifts. Closing the hip, driving the heel up, letting the head go, pressing the right heel down. Where are you? Where is your breath? Where is your support? Where's the amount of energy you still have? Where's the quietude in your mind? Are you still lifting that leg? Are you still pressing down and lifting off of the arms? And we'll step the left foot through. Make it up there any way that you need. Back foot flat, practicing kindness. When you're ready, ask the physical body if it is ready to lift you up. Feel the limitations in the joint of the right hip and thigh. Maybe across the low back, maybe on the muscles of the calf of the right foot. And then find the lift. What's lifting, what's rooting, what's breathing in the toes. And we'll bring those hands down. Step to your version of a plank. Lowering down, use the exhale. What did you learn? What did you experience coming down? Did you blank out? Were you here? Breath in, cobra or up dog. What's lifting? Uplifting in body, uplifting in mind, uplifting in breath. And down dog. Child's pose, 5 breaths. I'm flipping the palms, changing it a little so I'm in the same pose, but I've just changed the orientation of those arms. And let's come up to a seated space. All right, so that was a kind of a standing sequence that you can modify, add to, and say, you know what, I want to do that. I'm going to do it 4 times. I'm going to do it 2 times. But use that kind of guideline of, where's my mind? Oops, did I stop actually practicing and start remembering a TV program? Did I stop actually practicing connection with my breath and think about a conversation I need to have later today? Holding ourselves into where are we? Are we in this present moment? Are we feeling heat build? Are we feeling support coming from within us? Are we committed to feeling this space of nourishing the body with our attention? Okay, we're going to come into some seated spaces and look at what are the areas when I want to stop? In the practice overall, or in the pose overall, or in the breath overall, or in the mind overall. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and bring the bottoms of the feet together. Pressing those inner thighs open. Growing tall in the spine. Unhinge. Is the spine still lengthening? Did the mind check out? How do you keep going? You give yourself a focal point. You could give yourself a physical focal point for your eyes. You could give yourself a mental focal point with a mantra. to stay in creating connection and the spaciousness in the spine and the hips. Feeling the body cooperate or communicate that it's not cooperating. And how do we stick and stay when the body says, I don't want to cooperate? Do we back off? Do we start to have that conversation? Okay, what does this mean, body? What do you need? And let's bring ourselves back up. Bottoms of the feet down. I'm going to turn sideways. Okay, you could stay in a boat here. You could stay in a boat here. You could stay in a boat here. Make a choice. Don't even worry. Turn off the mind that goes, oh, am I doing it right? My alignment, my blah, 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 my blah, blah, blah. Just be here. Be here and observe all that you can. What's going on in your mind. Observe what's going on in the room. Observe your senses. Touch, sight, sound, taste, smell. Where's your breath? Good. We're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together again and straighten the right leg out. Breath in and side bend. Lengthening, moving the area that was just compressing in the waist, in the core, in the sides. Don't force, don't bounce, accept what's going on. Where's your mind? What's changing? Do you believe that something's changing in the body? Where's the length? Where's the acceptance? Bringing ourselves up. Bottoms of both feet together again. Breath in. Exhale forward. Remember what I said about giving yourselves a focal point to stay. Don't ignore when you've gotten distracted, right? So I got distracted. I looked at my feet and I'm like, oh, I need a pedicure, right? And I need to go, okay, yep, I did that. And now I'm back here. I am a human, fully flawed, fully distracted, full of attachments. Bringing ourselves up, a boat, here we go. Connecting body, breath, mind, and stay. Did you make a choice? Do you need to lower those heels? Do you need the feet to come down at all? What's changing? Is anything shaking? Is anything trembling? What's going on? How does that change your mind? How does that affect your breath? Senses, be in the room. What are you practicing right now? In body, where are you? In breath, where are you? Good, I'm going to bring the feet down. Taking the left leg out. Breath in and side. It's perfectly okay if you came out of that boat. You're being honest with yourself. Now be honest on those reasons. Maybe you ran into a boundary in capacity, physical capacity. Maybe it was mental. Maybe there wasn't any more mental capacity to stay calm, right? And that's something to notice. So for those who have been coming to home yoga for a bit, this is a great opportunity for journaling to notice like, okay, this is when I tell myself I can't anymore. Or here's when my mind just can't focus anymore. Learning more about ourselves, and then maybe we stretch those boundaries. We'll bring ourselves up. Here we go, bottoms of the feet together. Inhale. What's growing tall? How has the body changed after doing this now? And come forward. What's rooting and what's lengthening? How about the nature of the breath? Can it still deepen? Have we hit our max? What do we know about how long and slow, how much breath can we ever take in at one time? And our capacity for letting go of that breath. And bringing ourselves up. Boat. Maybe you're changing the kind of boat that you're practicing. Here, I'll turn sideways. Breath. What feels freer? What feels more solid? What feels more familiar? What feels more difficult? What do I know about what difficult feels like in my breath, in my mind, in my body? How do I react? How do I respond? Good. We'll bring the legs down, coming over to the side one more time. Right leg out to the side. Side bending. What's lifting and lengthening? Scan your whole body. What has ability and capacity for lifting? What has ability and capacity for lengthening? Scan your breath. What has ability and capacity for lengthening? What has ability and capacity for lengthening in the breath and the body? What's changing right now? And let's bring ourselves up. Feel the spaces coming back into place. Bring bottoms of the feet together. Coming up and over. Just a little break here. And I don't mean that like a break from practice. We're still in practice. I meant in the lengthened leg. Now, here we go. One more. Boaty boat. Make a choice. Do it in your mind. What happens when we sit in a space like this that's heat generating and there's nowhere else to go? Right? What happens when that heat generates? What's going on in the mind? Are we feeling like we're trapped? Are we feeling like we can't? Do we feel like we've just got to be doing something? I can stay this hot if I was just doing something. What does stillness with fire feel like? Awake, alert, vibrant, and still. Other side. Breath in. Other side. Greet this side. Listen to what it has to say. Let the breath move in. It's got a moving company and it's moving in into different regions. Wow. Where did all that heat need to go? How did it need to be released? Are we okay with feeling our own heat? We'll bring ourselves up. Good. We're going to widen those legs out. Flexing the toes. Pull and lengthen, chin and chest forward. Engage the muscles of the thighs. What's giving us anchoring in this pose? so that the rest of the body can move. I want those legs to be stable, giving me a good foundation. And then believe that my waist could stretch. Believe that the bones in the spine could stretch and it could be effortless. That more could happen from doing less. More could happen from doing less. Now instead of coming out, maybe come up a bit. See if you could lengthen a little further. So did the body kind of get acclimated to that amount of length and can yield a little bit more. And then reposition. Pulling the chest long and forward, relaxing the neck. Did we lose our anchoring in our legs? How do we keep going here? This is the kind of pose, at least for me, that's really easy for me to let go of my muscle action and just kind of let everything go. And I'm like, no, I really want to practice here, providing some stability, staying consciously aware of engaging in the bottom body as an anchor. And feel the energy, the heat of having to apply myself. But I take for granted that I don't always have to apply myself in my legs. But being active in our practice doesn't allow for a space of taking something for granted. And at the very least, being active in the practice helps me be aware of, I let that go. And then be forgiving and come on back up and go, wow, that's something I still have got to learn. How do I stay engaged? When am I getting bored? Or it's like an inner 3-year-old. It's like, no, I don't want to do it anymore because it's hard. Or it's holding me accountable. Because look, I can still come down and I don't have to do all that work, right? All right, so that's yet another aspect of something to maybe chew on as you arrive on your mat. And please, I don't think I said this today, that this purpose of this home yoga practice isn't about getting a 60-minute, fitness class. No, I'm hoping that there are entry points that you can use and just kind of come in and go, okay, I want to practice a little bit of that in my home yoga practice. And doing 15-minute practices, 20-minute practices, 10-minute practices, whatever works for you, because you have that power to start to step into your own accountability of what am I practicing? Where am I right now? Right? In body, in breath, and in mind. Okay, I'd like to do mermaid. And so I'm turning because I want to stay here. So I'm going to have my right leg bent like pigeon, okay? And I'm going to bring my left knee up against the sole of my right foot. So I'm going to actually turn back this way so that folks can see. All right, so this foot, this knee, and I'm sitting upright. You might wish to put a pillow down right here. Or a stack of blankets. A human who will let you. A dog. All right, I'm sitting up, feeling this knee. It's not so happy, so I'm going to decrease that angle a little bit. And I'm going to find a waist turn to the right. So this is my right leg bent out in front of me here. And my left knee with my left foot tucked behind. I'll turn sideways a little so you can see that. Now I've got this pillow over to my right hip. I'm going to revolve. Sit as upright as we can. Sitting. Feel the upward lifting at the top of the head, the top of the spiral. Twirl you upward like a tornado. Don't drill down, right? We're twirling up. Now maintain as much of that twist as your body will allow and lay ourselves down on the pillow in the twist. Ooh. Feeling the lengthening along the left side of the waist, the side, the hip, the thigh. Can you lay down enough that the upper body doesn't have to do any work? It just rests. This is one of these lovely poses that over time, it's kind of like one of those wait for it, wait for it. Really works patience, but it also reveals itself to us over time. Different areas start to say, oh, okay, I'll let you in. Other areas go, oh my goodness, no, please get out. Working our patience, working our mind to say, did I come to be on my mat to be at war with myself, or did I come to be on my mat to find a kind way of having a relationship with my body, being willing to listen to it and feel how it likes to move, feel ways that it can move that I never even knew, and how that movement will move something in my spirit, how it moves through my breath. Have you let go? Can you let go? Do you even want to let go? All right, we're going to gradually bring ourselves back up. Take your time. Move slowly. That's mermaid. And we're going to take our time and position ourselves for the other side. So this left leg is bent here. I'm going to bring this right knee up against this left foot. I'm going to get the pillow here. Check in on this hip. Actually, this foot is a little tight. I'm sitting on my nest here. Yeah. Chest up. Feel that effortless twirl, right? We're not spiraling and spinning downward. We're asking to be uplifted, spacious in this house that we occupy. Breath in, sit up, exhale, twist, twist. Stay upright, feel the corkscrew. Feel the upward twirling. We're not drilling down. We're spinning and helicoptering up. Light, effortless. Free, uninhibited. Stay here as long as you like. And if you're ready and want to, we'll lay ourselves down, staying in the twist, laying the chest and the belly onto the support we have. And then asking ourselves if we can trust and let the body go heavy. Let the breath lead the way to calm. Let the breath lead the way to space. And let's slowly bring ourselves upright. We'll bring this leg out from around behind us. And let ourselves come down onto our backs. Feel the contact that the back of the body has with the earth. Is the back of the body allowing itself to fall into the earth? is the back of the body allowing itself to fall into the earth. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees open. And feel this space and how it's different than when we did it sitting upright. What are you learning about the left side of the groin and the right side of the groin? How each side holds itself. Where is the stop point different in the different attachments? Is the back of the body still allowing itself to sink? Can you stay? Maybe take a moment and reflect on the difference between sitting and staying here and sitting and staying in boat. What gets taxed in a different way? What's harder? What's more difficult? What's easier? Where does the mind face different difficulties? We'll bring those inner thighs together. Without using the hands, draw the knees into the chest. And then we'll straighten those legs up toward the ceiling. Legs as close together as you can. Now try to exert the least amount of energy, physical, muscular energy that you can. Just let this space happen. Let this shape happen. Now press the low back toward the floor gently. With the least amount that you can press the low back and still feel its engagement. How does it make you feel in the whole shape? Can you breathe here? Can you have a quiet mind here? Check in. What are the shoulders and arms doing? Had to call myself out there. Can the breath freely move in the front of the chest and the front of the belly? Slowly bring the feet down. Position them for bridge. Don't move the neck. Press down through the feet and lift the hips. What's going on in your mind? What's going on in the body? Is there an even distribution of work? Can we vary the level of work and stay? What is the nature of your breath here? Where is your mind? Where is your attention? Can you feel that upward lift of the air as you draw it in? Can you feel it inflating you, letting your body float? Can you send that breath into the legs that might need to feel more effortless because the work is there? Can you do less work and stay in this shape? We'll slowly lower the hips down, knees toward the belly without the arms, and heels up to the ceiling, straightening the legs. Find the least amount of work you need to do. Let the body feel heavy and yet lifted. Perhaps you do this sequence a few times. As you practice one day, bridge to Viparita Karani, feeling lifted and yet rooted in both of those shapes, feeling work and exertion in a different way, observing the mind, observing how we ground ourselves, observing the parts of us that want to quit, stop, change. We'll bring those legs down. And then let both knees drop to the right. Resist the urge to want to change anything. What does it feel like to just stay? And feel this shape. Feel attachments and ligaments. Finding different stress loads. And bring the knees up and over to the other side. Now, because we did the mermaid, I wasn't going to hold this very long. But you get the point that you can hold these. Sit here and hold these. 3 minutes, 2 minutes. And explore the practice of continuing, of not stopping. Sticking with it. In different shapes, in different forms, in different paces. And observing what's really going on in the physical body. Is it about desire? Is it an attachment to comfort? Is it an attachment to familiarity? Things that we know that we can do? So when we quit, when we stop, is it us giving up on ourselves? Not believing that we can? Not understanding a benefit? When we quit mentally, is that a space that's telling us we can't? Is it helping us justify quitting by saying I'm bored or this isn't worthy, right? We dismiss any value. We reject that it has value. For us, it might work for other people, but it won't work for me. I'm going to gently bring myself up and over, rolling over to one side, finding our seed pose. And gradually coming up to a seated space. Let's do our Kumbhaka breath. So we'll breathe in and hold at the top, and we'll breathe out and hold at the bottom. And we'll look at the limits, the edges of those holds. Please don't do any breath retention practice if this is something that creates a trauma or triggers a trauma of any sort of breath inhibition, anything that has stalled your breath in the past. So we'll breathe in and hold. Observe your body, observe your breath, observe your mind. When when you've hit the edge, the safest edge of that hold, let the breath out, all of it, and then hold at the bottom. When you've hit the safest edges, but that you've explored something you don't know, breathe in and hold. What was the nature of that breath in? Was it a gasp? Was it like a big gulp? Was it slow and savory? Did you trust it? What was being expressed in how you took that breath? And hold. What do we learn about ourselves in the staying elements of our practice? Breathing out when you're ready. And hold. Natural breath. So that breath practice, the Antara Kumbhaka, the Baya Kumbhaka, is something to also extend into your practice. Say, can I do that 6 times? Can I do that 7 times? What do I end up consistently running up against? Is it a panic? Is it the mind telling the body or the breath, let go of this is dumb? Or is the mind going, I can do this, and it's turned into like, the breath Olympics? But if we don't push into the edges, and if we don't start to practice it and continue to practice, and continue and continue and continue, we cut ourselves off from an opportunity to connect and learn, right? That connection is an aspect of learning. And it's the coming back and the coming back. The years and years and years of practice, even of doing the same poses, because you know what? A chair is a chair is a chair. A down dog is a down dog is a down dog. The body changes as it's aging. The body changes with injuries. But after a while, we are returning and we're learning. We're still connecting to something not only of that day, but about the constant patterns that are going on inside of us. And that's when we return to look at those patterns again and say, hey, am I changing those patterns? Those patterns working for me? Are those patterns not working for me? I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga. This has been our home yoga practice live on Thursday, Feb 11. I had to think about it. The light in me recognizes and loves the light that's in you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for coming. It's always my pleasure to share practice in the ways in which I feel are relevant, that can help give you access to holding yourself to the practice that you want on your mat. You can speed up all of that. Are you able to do that mindfully? Are you able to do that connecting in with the spiritual, the philosophical aspects of your yoga? Or do you want to make it an aerobics class? And if you need to make it an aerobics class or purely a stretching class, cool. I may not be the teacher for you. And that's okay. I know wonderful teachers. If you're here in the Lansing area, wonderful teachers. Check out Tony over at Salt, or check out Misty Blue over at People's Yoga. There's all kinds of yoga. Or check out the Yin on Monday nights with Danielle if you want to sit and hold some stuff, maybe not hearing so much blather, coming out of Belinda's face. There's more than enough opportunity to find ways and access to practice. I'm really finding it far more meaningful for me as an instructor and as a practitioner to try to bring all 8 limbs in, because you can probably get the jump around aerobic experience a dime a dozen everywhere you want to go. All right. Thank you all again. Good to see you, Claudia. Hey, Elizabeth. Good to see you. I'm just seeing that you were typed in here. And I hope that you all are finding practice. Please, please, please. I'm just going to continue to beg. Send me things that you want to work on. hey, if you want to work on the hips, if you want to know something more about yogic philosophy, you want to do something more with breath practice, you want to talk a little bit more about what does the heat of tapas mean. I'm happy to explore. You want suggested readings? Ask me. I'm happy to explore and share. You help me grow, and I hope that I am, helping you find a path of yoga that fits you. Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I'm a yak attack. All right, that's definitely an aspect of my practice, of the pratyahara, the sense withdrawal, the silence within. But I get to practice that when you guys aren't around. Peace, be well, namaste.